Have you ever noticed something strange? The people who seem to be winning at life usually aren't the loudest people in the room. They don't constantly post about their goals. They don't argue with everyone online. They don't need to prove they're successful. And yet somehow, years later, they're the ones everyone else is trying to catch up to. So what's their secret? It isn't luck, it isn't talent, and it definitely isn't motivation. It's psychology. Because the people who quietly win understand a few invisible rules that most people never even notice. The first rule is almost impossible to see because it looks boring. Imagine two friends. One announces that this year they're going to change everything. New business, new body, new mindset. Every day they tell people about their plans. The other says almost nothing. No big announcement, no dramatic speech, no countdown. 6 months later, guess who actually changed? Psychologists have found that talking too much. Goals can trick your brain into feeling rewarded before you've done the work. You get a small hit of satisfaction just from imagining success. Your brain starts acting like you've already accomplished something. The quiet person skips that reward. They let action become the only source of satisfaction. That's why silent progress often beats loud ambition. But that's only the beginning. Here's something even stranger. Most people think successful people make better decisions. Not exactly. They simply make fewer unnecessary ones. Think about your morning. What should I wear? What should I eat? Should I work now? Maybe after one more video. Maybe after checking my phone. Maybe tomorrow. By noon, your brain has already spent energy on hundreds of tiny choices. The people who secretly win remove those choices before they happen. They create routines so their future self doesn't have to negotiate, because every decision steals a little mental energy, and the less energy you waste, the more you have for what actually matters. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable. Most people are addicted to being busy, not productive. Busy. Answering notifications, refreshing social media, checking emails every few minutes, jumping between tasks. It feels productive because your brain stays occupied, but it's an illusion. Imagine trying to fill a bucket with water while someone keeps punching holes in the bottom. That's what constant distraction does to your attention. The quiet winners protect their focus like it's money, because it is. Attention is the currency behind every skill, every opportunity, and every breakthrough you'll ever have. And here's something almost nobody talks about. The people who secretly win don't chase motivation. They actually expect to feel unmotivated. Think about that. Most people wait until they feel ready. Successful people assume they won't. They understand that emotions are temporary, but systems are permanent. On the days they don't feel like exercising, they still go. On the days they don't feel creative, they still create. Not because they're stronger, because they stopped negotiating with themselves. Now let's look at another hidden difference. Have you ever met someone who always seems calm during chaos? While everyone else panics, they think. While everyone else reacts, they observe. This isn't personality, it's emotional distance. Imagine receiving a harsh message. Most people instantly reply. They defend themselves. They argue. Hours later, they regret what they said. Quiet winners create space between emotion and action. Sometimes it's 10 seconds. Sometimes it's 10 hours. That tiny gap changes everything, because your first reaction is usually emotional. Your second response is usually intelligent. And the people who quietly succeed know which one builds a better future. But there's one final habit that's even more powerful. It's also the hardest. Delayed gratification. Picture two people receiving the exact same paycheck. One immediately upgrades their lifestyle. New gadgets, expensive dinners, things they don't actually need. The other invests in skills, books, courses, health, relationships, things that don't look impressive today, but completely transform tomorrow. Here's the strange part. From the outside, the first person often looks more successful. The second person looks average, until 5 years pass. Then suddenly everyone says they got lucky. But what people call luck is often invisible patience. And that's the biggest secret of all. The people who secretly win aren't trying to impress today's audience. They're building tomorrow's life. While others chase attention, they chase improvement. While others compare, they compound. While others need recognition, they need progress. That's why their success always seems sudden, but it never is. It was simply invisible. So the next time you feel like you're falling behind because someone else looks ahead of you, ask yourself one question. Are they actually winning, or are they just making more noise? Because in the end, the loudest life isn't usually the most successful one. The people who truly win are often the ones you barely notice, until one day you realize they've quietly become everything everyone else was pretending to be.